Hold on to your straw hats because we're diving into the most jaw-dropping, goosebump-inducing moments that made Monkey D. Luffy an absolute legend. From demolishing entire armies to facing down admirals like they're playground bullies, these scenes had us all screaming at our screens. Let's get wild. Picture this. 50,000 fishermen standing there thinking they're hot stuff, and our boy Luffy just looks at them like, nah, I don't have time for this nonsense. Y'all know what's coming. But Hody Jones sure didn't. Man really thought he was about to write Luffy's obituary with his 50k backup dancers. Now let's talk about what actually went down. Luffy hits him with that Conqueror's Haki, that rare power that basically tells everyone, I'm built different. And when I say rare, I mean like finding a PS5 at retail price during launch, rare. Only a chosen few can even use this power, and my man Luffy's out here wielding it like it's nothing. But the real MVP moment, it's not just that he knocked out 50,000 fishermen, it's how he did it. No dramatic wind-up, no hour-long power-up sequence, just straight-up go-to-sleep energy. Hody's face during this whole thing is absolutely priceless. Man looking like he just found out his whole Netflix watch list got deleted. You could literally see his dreams of victory getting flushed down the sea toilet. This isn't even Luffy's final form, folks. He's literally just clearing out the small fry so he can get to the real fight. It's like when your mom tells you to clean your room before you can play video games, except Luffy's version of cleaning involves knocking out an entire army with his mind. Sure, Hody gave Luffy some trouble later in their actual fight, but this moment right here, this was Luffy basically sending out a group text to everyone in the ocean saying, check it. This is what happens when you mess with the future king of the pirates. No cap, just facts. Some moments in anime just hit differently, and Luffy shutting down Bellamy's entire career with one punch is straight up legendary. Listen up, because this story is about to get wild. So there's this dude, Bellamy, calling himself the Hyena. Like he's some hotshot. And yeah, my guy really went all in on the hyena theme, laughing like a maniac, acting like a scavenger, basically being the most annoying person in the Grand Line. But here's where he messed up big time. Earlier in Jaya, this clown had the audacity to jump Luffy in a bar. Our rubber boy was actually being mature for once, shock, I know, and didn't fight back. Bellamy thought he was so tough, beating up someone who wouldn't even throw hands. Classic bully behavior, am I right? But Karma? She's got a mean right hook, and her name is Monkey D. Luffy. When round 2 came around, Bellamy's doing his whole spring bouncy routine, probably thinking he's about to star in his own circus show. My man's literally bouncing off buildings like he just discovered parkour, running his mouth about how he's gonna wreck Luffy. Then boom! One punch. That's it. No epic battle, no drawn-out fight sequence, just Luffy saying, I don't have time for this, with his fist. Bellamy went from bouncing around like a caffeinated kangaroo to taking a dirt nap in the middle of town. Even Saitama would have been like, nice punch, bro. The best part? The absolute silence afterward, all those people who were hyping up Bellamy, laughing at his jokes, backing his play, dead quiet, because sometimes you don't need a whole speech about dreams or friendship. Sometimes you just need one perfectly timed punch to remind everyone why Luffy's built differently. Rolling up to the biggest war in One Piece history should be done with class and dignity, right? Well, someone forgot to tell Luffy that memo. While Whitebeard made his entrance like the absolute boss he is, our future Pirate King decides to literally fall from the sky on a boat. Not even a cool boat. We're talking about an upside-down prison boat that he basically yeeted from Impel Down. The Marines down below are having their perfectly orchestrated execution day, everything's going according to plan, and then bam! Chaos Incarnate Luffy shows up with the most random crew of escaped convicts anyone's ever seen. We're talking Okamas, former enemies, and revolutionaries all free-falling through the air like they're auditioning for a circus act. The reactions are absolutely priceless. The Marines are standing there like, is this dude for real? While the pirates are probably thinking, this kid's either the bravest person alive or just completely lost his mind. And honestly, both could be true. But here's where it hits different. Nobody watching this for the first time could have guessed what was coming next. The whole scene has this wild energy, like when your crazy friend crashes a formal party and everyone's too shocked to be mad about it. Luffy's bringing this chaotic ray of sunshine to what's about to become the darkest moment in the series. Looking back now, it's almost painful how hopeful everything feels. Luffy's showing up like, "Don't worry, bro, I'm here to save you." With that signature grin, not knowing he's about to face the most devastating loss of his life. But that's what makes this moment so powerful. It's the last bright spot before everything goes south, and it's pure, unfiltered Luffy doing what he does best, making an entrance that nobody can forget. The sheer audacity of Luffy's first encounter with Kaido hits harder than any Red Hawk could. Here's this rubber-brained rookie, fresh off the boat in Wano, with this whole master plan laid out by his allies. Stay quiet, work from the shadows, and maybe don't immediately pick a fight with one of the strongest creatures in existence. Basic common sense stuff, right? But nah, our boy Luffy sees a dragon in the sky, and his one brain cell goes, "You know what would be fun? Punching that." The Alliance's carefully crafted strategy, gone. Stealth mission, canceled. Hotel, Travago. This man really saw the strongest creature in the world and thought, "I can take him." The wild part isn't even that Luffy threw hands with Kaido, it's that he actually rocked this man's world for a hot second. Sure, Kaido was drunk enough to make a college freshman look sober, but let's appreciate the fact that Luffy straight up King Kong gunned a dragon into the ground. Not just any dragon, the same dragon that's been terrorizing Wano like it's his personal playground. Real talk though, this moment is pure Luffy energy distilled into its most concentrated form. While everyone else is playing 4D chess, Luffy's out here playing Punch the Dragon and somehow making it work. For about 5 minutes anyway before Kaido sobered up and reminded everyone why you don't usually pick fights with Yonko. But that initial punch, that single moment where Kaido's invincible dragon form got yeeted into the dirt, it set the stage for what would become one of the most epic showdowns in anime history. Luffy basically wrote a check his body couldn't cash yet, but you better believe he was gonna hit the gym until he could make that payment in full. The most intense "I love you bro" moment in anime history went down at Marineford, and it wasn't even intentional. My guy Luffy was straight up watching his brother about to get the chop, and his brain just went nope so hard it knocked out half the battlefield. What makes this Conqueror's hockey moment hit different from the Fishman Island flex is that Luffy had absolutely zero idea what he was doing. Man's running purely on big brother energy, watching those execution blades coming down, and his subconscious just said Control-Alt-Delete on everyone in the vicinity. The power scaling here is actually insane. We're not talking about some random fishman here. These are hardcore Marines and battle-hardened pirates, the kind of people who eat danger for breakfast and have New World PTSD for dessert. And Luffy's accidental power move just dropped them like they were NPCs in a video game. The real kicker? While everyone's standing there with their jaws on the floor, Luffy's still laser focused on Ace like he didn't just pull off the most impressive unconscious flex in One Piece history. Dude's out here accidentally announcing his arrival to the new world while his mind is 100% on save brother mode. This is the moment where everyone realized that this rubber boy wasn't just some East Blue rookie playing pirate anymore. He might not have known it, but Luffy just crashed the party of the world's strongest and basically told them, yeah, I'm gonna be running things around here soon. Talk about making an entrance. And he wasn't even trying to make one. The entire world of One Piece changed when one rubber boy decided to pick a fight with the entire government. And why? Because they messed with his friend. Not just any friend. They messed with Robin. And if there's one thing you don't do in this series, it's mess with someone's nakama. The world government's sitting there in Eni's lobby thinking they're untouchable with their fancy flag and their assassin squad CP9. Then Luffy rolls up and basically goes, "Hey, Soga King, see that flag? Yeah, that's gonna have to go." And totally not Usopp, definitely Sogeking, just lights it up like it's the world's biggest bonfire. This wasn't just some random act of vandalism. The world government's flag had been flying untouched for 800 years, representing absolute authority and power. Then these pirates show up and turn it into ash because it stood between them and their friend. The sheer disrespect of it all is what makes it beautiful. Every crew member knew what this meant. You don't just torch the world government's flag and expect to go back to normal pirate life. This was Luffy and crew signing up for a lifetime subscription of Government's Most Wanted Weekly. But when Robin's screaming that she wants to live, worth it? When she's finally accepting that her nakama will burn down the world to save her, double worth it? The best part? It's the moment where everyone realized this wasn't just another pirate crew. These were the people crazy enough to change the world, one burnt flag at a time. The absolute peak of not knowing when to quit has to be Luffy squaring up against 3 walking natural disasters at Marineford. The Marine Admirals, Akainu, Aokiji, and Kizaru aren't just some high-ranking officials with fancy titles. These dudes are basically human weapons of mass destruction, each packing the kind of power that makes veteran pirates wet their pants. You've got Aokiji, who can freeze entire oceans, Kizaru, who moves at literal light speed, and Akainu, who's basically wearing magma as a fashion statement. Any normal person would look at this trio and think, yeah, that's gonna be a no from me, dog. But Luffy, our boy's running on pure adrenaline, family love, and probably some leftover Ivankov hormones. The wild part is how the scene plays out. Luffy's already been through hell. He's soaking wet from the ocean, which, reminder, is like kryptonite to devil fruit users. He's exhausted from fighting an entire army's worth of marines, and he's probably still recovering from his impelled down adventure. But when he sees these 3 walking apocalypses standing between him and Ace, he doesn't even hesitate. The contrast between Luffy and Ace's faces during this moment tells the whole story. Luffy's got that catch these hands look, while Ace is watching his little brother like he's witnessing a train wreck in slow motion. And honestly, he's not wrong. This is the kind of situation where even having main character energy shouldn't be enough to save you. But that's exactly what makes this moment so legendary. It's not about Luffy being strong enough to beat them. He definitely wasn't. It's about having the pure, unfiltered audacity to look at 3 of the strongest people in the world and go, yeah, I can take them. While everyone else is doing the math on just how screwed this situation is, Luffy's already calculating the fastest way to pole vault over these human nukes to get to his brother. This moment perfectly captures everything that makes Luffy who he is. 0 self-preservation instincts, unlimited determination, and enough courage to make even the admirals do a double take. You know those moments when Luffy just cranks up the crazy to 11? The absolute madman decided to stare down Charlotte Linlin. Again. We're talking about a woman who could probably eat islands for breakfast and still have room for a kingdom or 2 for lunch. And what does our rubber-brained captain do? Calls her up on the Den Den Mushi from inside her territory just to tell her she ain't gonna be Pirate King. Here's our boy Luffy, locked up in her prison, probably munching on whatever scraps they tossed his way. And he's got the stones to grab that snail phone and basically tell Big Mom, hey, your whole controlling Mama knows best thing? Yeah, that's not gonna work for me. The guards watching him must have been sweating bullets. Like, dude, you're literally in her jail, maybe dial back the sass? But nah, that's not how Monkey D. Luffy rolls. This man straight up tells one of the most powerful pirates in existence, a woman who can steal your soul faster than you can say wedding cake, that he's gonna snatch Sanji back and make her look stupid while doing it. It's like watching a rubber chicken challenge a T-Rex to a boxing match. And Big Mom's reaction, pure gold. Her face did that thing where you can literally see someone's brain short circuit trying to process the sheer audacity they're witnessing. You could practically hear her thoughts. Did this little punk really just... The look on her face was worth about 1 billion berries, a mix of, is this kid for real? And I'm gonna turn him into rubber band balls. The craziest part, Luffy meant every single word. While everyone else in the room was probably writing their wills, our future Pirate King was laying down the law like he was telling her what he had for breakfast. That's the thing about Luffy. He doesn't just make threats, he makes promises. And somehow this rubber-brained idiot keeps finding ways to keep them, no matter how insane they sound. First up, Kaido versus Luffy, round 1. Y'all ever seen someone walk into a fight with maximum confidence and get absolutely demolished? That was our boy Luffy. Mans really thought he could roll up to Wano and throw hands with Kaido like it was nothing. Reality check? One hit. Kaido sent our rubber boy to the Shadow Realm faster than you can say meat. Talk about a humbling experience. Speaking of humbling, the going Mary's farewell. Bruh. This hit different. We're talking about a boat making grown men cry like babies. But it wasn't just any boat. It was Nakama. The Mary carried the Straw Hats through thick and thin, and watching it go down in flames. That Viking funeral had everyone reaching for tissues. Even the ship was crying. And if that doesn't mess you up, I don't know what will. Now let's talk about Luffy's one-shot collection. My man really said catch these hands to Bellamy and Hajrudin. Bellamy was all bounce talking mad trash in Mocktown, then boom, one punch, good night. Same energy with Hajrudin in the Colosseum. These dudes really thought they were main characters until Luffy reminded them they were NPCs in his story. The Katakuri fight? Now that's what you call a level up moment. My guy literally got beat up for hours just to learn how to see the future. Katakuri's sitting there with his perfect record, eating donuts, and Luffy's like, nice future sight, bro? Mind if I copy your homework? Then we got the Sabo reunion, somebody cutting onions. Two brothers thinking the other was dead, then boom. Surprise family reunion. The only thing missing was Ace. And now I made myself sad. The Usopp fight? Pain. Just pain. Watching your best friend challenge you over a ship knowing you gotta throw hands? That's the kind of drama that hits harder than any punch. Those gear transformations, each one more wild than the last. Rob Lucci thought he was facing a regular rubber boy until Gear 2nd came out. Doflamingo was laughing until Gear 4th Bounce Man showed up looking like a rubber balloon on steroids. And finally, the grand finale, Gear 5th. Sun God Nika, the most ridiculous power in the world. Luffy really said, you know what this serious fight needs? Looney Tunes physics, turned Kaido into a jump rope, and had the time of his life doing it. The best part about all these moments, they show Luffy's journey from a goofy kid who could stretch to the most creative, unpredictable, and powerful pirate in the game. And he did it all while staying true to himself, a rubber-brained idiot with a heart of gold and fists of fury. That wraps up our countdown of Luffy's most legendary moments that had us all losing our minds. If you're hyped about these epic scenes, smash that like button and tell us in the comments which Luffy moment made you jump out of your seat. Don't forget to subscribe for more One Piece content that hits harder than a Gum Gum Red Hawk. See you in the next video here on 7 Seas.